All right, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. And today I am hosting the WeVideo Scripted Educators launch party. So I am so excited to be on the show tonight with all of my friends from Scripted. This is a really great special episode, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be on the show for about an hour, and we're going to give each scripted educator a time slot to speak about their WeVideo media filming experience in their classrooms. And then we're going to, have maybe a discussion, bring in your questions and your comments about using media in the classroom. So I am going to actually talk a little bit about their book, Scripted. Their book is really written by teachers for teachers. And I'm a teacher, I'm a technology teacher, and I honestly feel that this book is a gem, okay? Because it gives practical examples of how you can use this in all levels of education. All right, it's not just for high school or middle school, it's for all K-12. And really, it's a great resource. It goes over examples and lessons and curriculum and how it can be aligned in all subject areas, not just in a technology class. So I'm really proud of all of my friends from Scripted because this is a great resource and I really highly recommend it. So let me introduce my Scripted friends and WeVideo fellow ambassadors. I hope all of the WeVideo ambassador community is watching. So first up is Bruce Reicher. Second is Paula Nylinger. Nylinger. And the third one is Randy Tomes. So welcome to the Sweet Talk, and I'm so thankful that you asked me to host your launch party. So welcome to the Sweet Talk, guys.
Thank you, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
So let's talk about a little bit about your book. I kind of gave an introduction about your book and really wanted to put it out there for educators because I think it's important that that educators like us write resources for other educators. And I think that helps build, a following and helps promote your book because educators want to have practical examples, not from people that aren't in education or in the classroom. They really don't understand the climate. So, why don't you guys really briefly talk about how you got connected, and then we'll dive right into Randy's part of the show.
Okay. Well, we met definitely through social media because I'm in New Jersey and Randy and Paul are in Indiana, and we connected through social media through our TV shows, and Randy and Paul are lucky enough to have radio shows, and basically the three of us got together and said, we're looking for a great resource for teachers, written by teachers, and we couldn't find one. So we figured we'll write it. And we didn't go visit any other schools to go write this book. Like the book is from all of our experiences. All three of us individually have taught over 20 years. And basically we want to put all the tools in there and make it like a recipe book where maybe you don't read it cover to cover, but you can go right to whatever lesson you need or rubric or glossary, to go through the book and find exactly what you need when you need it.
Another thing I think is powerful in the book is that we're from different parts of the country, so we've kind of blended our cultures together. We did this over a 2-year period online. We actually only met a couple of times, so I think that's unique in itself. And I think the other point, which you already have said, is it's a book that literally you could buy, take it to school tomorrow and use it right then. That was our goal, especially as educators. Randy?
I agree with both of you. I mean, there's not much more you can say about it. I'm thinking of from the WeVideo perspective, there's such a huge part of this book, and WeVideo is such a huge part of what we do on a daily basis, especially with the position that I'm in. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, and really quick before we move on, it gives everyone a whole different perspective, just like Paula said. Like, you guys are all teaching different things, you're all involved in media, but all different aspects of it and grade levels. So it's a nice collection of ideas from all different perspectives, that you're around. And it's a great way to actually get started and to give you inspiration about using media in the classroom.
Yeah.
And it really ties into, too, you don't have to have a lot of money to start. And in light that we wrote the book the previous 2 years to the pandemic, we don't really touch on remote learning in the book. However, media is perfect for remote learning, that kids could do it at home if they're not in the classroom with you right now, using whatever device they have, and really coming up with creative projects instead of, the whole class doing the same thing and taking a test. And tonight we're going to show you tons of different examples. That's what we wanted to do. To show you a little bit about what we do, and hope you can incorporate it in your classroom or school.
All right, so Randy is going to start, talking about his project-based learning in his classroom in elementary grade levels. So why don't you give us an example and talk about what you want to, portray to our audience?
I think the best place to start would be what my position is. I'm more of a special area teacher, where they come to me for as a gym or an art or music. And so I teach grades 1 through 6, and I see each grade level for 45 minutes a day. And so they come to me for media and media creation. And so I kind of had the freedom and the liberty to kind of develop this curriculum over the years. This is I think it's my 8th year there as they call it, a communication teacher, but I think it's more of a media graphic design teacher, integrating television and radio. And we do have a radio show. We have students put on radio shows throughout the day. But our big thing is our CVTV, which is our student news, which since we put the radio in, we've had to take a step back. We used to do television news every day, and now we do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But when they're in my class, they're developing projects that will be will go out to the world, either through the radio, social media, or our news. And so, WeVideo, a few years back when I first started this, I was looking for a great software to develop videos. And we started out with the movie makers and the iMovie, but the things just I was always dealing with security issues, drive issues, teaching kids how to put things and place things. And when I stumbled upon a WeVideo, I guess it must have been 4 or 5 years ago by now. And I was like, this is all online. It talks to their Google Drive. They're really starting to move everything to the Google Drive. And everything started making sense, and it started becoming easier. So I started it up more at 5th and 6th grade, but throughout the years, I just kept starting it earlier. And so now I'm down to 3rd grade and even some 2nd grade classes. I've got integrating WeVideo into these projects. And when I say project, each grade level, we kind of build up. We start with Google tools to develop some of their visuals. And then we also use programs like Lucid Press, which is a great design program. It kind of took the place of Publisher. We use Soundtrap to integrate with sound. So we use a lot of different programs in the design. And the ultimate goal is how they're going to publish this final project. And a lot of times it's through WeVideo. And so an example project might be a 3rd grade project. A 3rd grade project would be, you have to create a business, okay? And so you have to create a logo inside of Google Drawings. So I talk about logo creation, what goes into a logo, and they have to create this business. If they could sell something, what would they want to do? What would they want to say? And then you bring in the language arts standards with the writing of the script. You bring in the speaking standards. And then, of course, WeVideo comes in, and I say, okay, you're going to create a 30-second commercial to advertise your business. And it will go straight. If the good ones are going to go to CVTV and you're going to be broadcast in front of the school and the community, because we do stream straight to YouTube. So they know that not just the schools seeing their work, it's going out in the community. Parents see it. So it's great. And I want to show one example real quick. Hope my screen's sharing. This is a 3rd grade example. This was a boy he wanted A to Z Records. That was his logo. You'll see his logo at the beginning of this video. And he just did a really good job. It's about 30 seconds long. Hopefully it plays. Hopefully the streaming works. And we'll give it a few seconds to kick in. And if it doesn't, then we'll go from there. This might be the...
This is A to Z Records. We're having a 50% sale. You can buy over 1,000 different records. You can buy different records of your choice.
So there's their logo. This is actually a different one. This was his partner. This was hers. I wanted to show his, but that's all right. You get the idea. There's their logo they create. They pop up. And they make these in Google Drawings and save them as PNGs. So we teach them how to download those as PNGs, which works out great. I think I might have another third grade one that was done. Here's a Lemonade one that was done just this past couple weeks. And this girl did a really nice job writing her commercial. Hopefully this kicks in.
Welcome to TB's Lemonade Shop. We sell the best lemonade. You could get 5% off. We have strawberry lemonade, blueberry lemonade, regular lemonade, and much, much more. You can find us on 88th Lemonade Street. The best lemonade on land.
So we usually start with the kids' initials in 3rd grade, and they create their company name based on their initials. So that was another example that very quick, easy, but it looks quick and easy, but for 3rd graders, it takes quite a few class time to introduce them to WeVideo, upload their, learn how to upload their visual. WeVideo has made it amazing with their narrate button. When that narrate button wasn't there a few years ago, they would record their voice into a digital recorder and upload their voice and organize it that way. But the narrate has made, that's been a dream, especially for my 3rd graders. So they learn how to do simple things like that. 4th grade, we do movie. They have to create a movie poster, and they have to create a movie trailer to go with their movie poster. But those are made in Lucid Press. Again, we go through the design. We take a few lessons and talk about design, what goes into a movie poster, and then they put together a trailer in WeVideo, which they put out through CVTV. They also do we've attempted radio commercials along the way as well, just using their audio. What do you need to talk about for a movie? In a lot of movies in the 70s, there's a lot of radio ads for, a lot of samples for on YouTube you can use. 5th grade. Wow, it's kind of going fast. The 5th grade, there's a lot of 5th grade as well. We work with a lot of, we do a trip. They have to research a city. And so there's a lot of programs used with that. There's Google Sheets, which they have to put together a budget for their city. There's Google Slides. They have to put together a slideshow, including their budget, research hotels, and put links in their slideshows. But then the ultimate is they have to learn how to link their WeVideo into their slideshow as well. They have to do a 30-second commercial going to that city. But one of my favorite projects, and this is the last one I'll talk about, is a 6th grade project. And these kids have to develop their own cereal box. And when they develop their own cereal box, again, we're going to Lucid Press for them to develop the name, what should be on it, what should it look like. And then they have to develop the cover and the back cover. They have to develop a radio commercial for it, so they're getting their sound. And then we do that in Soundtrap usually. And then they take their mixed radio commercial and they upload that MP3 into WeVideo, which is great because again, you've done it in one program, you can put it into another, and they lay the visuals on it. And I want to end my part with showing you this 6th grade commercial for his cereal Foxy Flakes. And so I'll play that right now. And here's his commercial. And again, it's around 30 seconds. Hopefully it kicks on because this is a good one.
Hey, do you like cereal? Well, let's talk about mine. Foxy Flakes are really crunchy. No joke, they're very yummy. I know you will like it a lot when you're done. Yeah, please tell me your thoughts. When you're looking for a good price, this is the box. $1.98. I know, it's really great. 14 ounces. You have to eat it to believe it. Mackenzie Floxy Flakes. Hurry up before they're gone.
So that was his commercial, and you know, just all the software they're doing, and it all just goes into their Google Drive neatly. And again, with the WeVideo, they download it, and it can go into our school news. The audio goes into our school radio, and the kids are able to see their stuff around the school and the community, which is great. So it's been a lot of fun. There are tons of other projects I could talk about, but those are just a couple of my favorites, and that's about it.
I tell you what, Randy, I mean, the comments coming in to the stream right now, they're really positive. Everybody's really praising you for all of the great examples that you just mentioned. And honestly, like, you just blew me away with all the app smashing that you're doing with the kids, and then taking all that and putting it into WeVideo and kind of like wrapping it up as a final project. The WeVideo component is the end part where you bring huge. Everything else in. Yeah,
it was a game changer for my position when we discovered WeVideo. It was a game changer, and Soundtrap to some means with radio as well, because we get there's so many different things that it allows you to do. And if people want to check out some of our stuff, our school news is Crestview Elementary CVTV. It's on YouTube. It's called Crestview Video, one word. You can search us and see our live shows, Crestview Video. And that's where a lot of our kids' projects get pushed out through. Like today, I think we showed 2 commercials today. We showed 3 commercials last Friday. We did I think it was 2 third grades business commercials, and then we ended up doing a 6th grade cereal commercial in there as well. And you know, they're not all great. I probably showed you the lemonade and the Foxy Flakes are pretty high up there quality wise, but the kids are learning, they're getting involved, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a whole lot of fun.
The main thing is that they're being exposed, right? Because this is what they're gonna probably be creating when they get into the higher grades. So it's the exposure really, and the creativity that they're displaying at a young age really shows us as educators that we need to let loose a little bit and let the kids be the creators instead of the consumers. And you portrayed that in the elementary levels.
Absolutely.
It was really impressive, and I love the graphic design. I love that they have to make the script. I love that they have to pitch it. Like, that's all real life examples. And I think it's important. And I like that you're connecting it where they can see it on their school TV channel as well.
And I think it was important for me to have that. I had 17 years at upper elementary teaching, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, regular classroom teaching. So I was becoming familiar with a lot of the standards that these kids, that the expectations of the subject. So as I went into this position, I thought, okay, I want to do projects that teachers are going to appreciate and that are going to help teachers along the way. And, for example, the city project, I mean, it's in 5th grade, they have to learn about American history. Well, what's better than finding a city around the United States and doing a little research, finding the location of it and digging in a little deeper with the technology. But along the way, promoting that city and creating a commercial for it when you learn a little bit about it.
Yeah, so like that's a great way to transition now into the middle school levels, because I'm in middle school. I teach middle school grades, and for me, I would love to hear from Paula about film production and how she incorporates that with her middle school grades. So why don't we turn it to Paula now so we can hear from her?
Okay, thanks. First of all, Randy, the commercial, the Foxy Flakes, that was really good. So I wanted to clap out loud. It was really
Thanks.
yeah, it was great. At the middle school level, I have the TV studio as well and the radio station. And about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I decided to introduce another side, and that was film production. At the time, I was a member of the Student Television Network, and they have a national film competition. So, I think it's really important, as I know Bruce and Randy do, to expose student work as much as possible. And when you have TV and radio, you are doing that all the time. So I started a film project, and I have 7th and 8th grade at the middle school level. So my film project was for Media 2, advanced media students. And excuse me, this project is basically about a 9, 10, 11-week project, and it's on top of still doing radio, television every day. As a former English teacher, I incorporated everything from that aspect. So the students write their own scripts from scratch. So they're, have to know plot development. So they write their screenplay, they film it. They film in school and also outside of school. So that takes a lot of planning, time management. Once they've done that, then they, of course, start the editing and revising process. As most of you know, the editing actually takes probably 7 weeks, which the students, at the beginning, when you tell them, that's going to be the hardest part. I don't think they realize that until they get to that. My goal in film production was to teach the high end then of learning all the camera angles and how to use lighting correctly, how to speak, how to act, so that in a team of students, you're pulling all the talents of all of them together to create this masterpiece. So Randy and Bruce were 2 of my judges. I actually got judges from around the country to judge them. And we have a film festival. So all the films are in the auditorium on the big screen. We have Oscars that we give away, and the students come on stage, they talk, they present. It's a lot of fun. So I think fall of last year, for the first time ever, one of our films actually won the best national middle school film of the year, and which has never happened.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome. So the kids, still talk about it, but so, that is what I do at the 8th grade level. At the 7th grade level, I introduce film with what I call a 1-minute film. And both of these I have in the book, a little bit about them, but the 1 minute is a door scene, and everybody has the exact same criteria, and every film still turns out different. It's all around a door. They have to be on 5 feet of the door. They have to hear a sound. They have to either get to it or get away from it. And every single one of them turns out different. So I have all the details in the book. But for me, with video, I'm sorry.
I'm just going to interrupt you 1 second because Corey Radish just said that you are covering so many standards, Paula, by introducing all of these different concepts to your students in your classroom. So I just wanted to give you, kudos to that.
Yeah, it's a pretty complex project, and but it's, we want kids to think, and I want them to think outside the box, and I want them to be able to be creative without restraints, and so I think we've accomplished that. Let me show you just a clip of the national one. They're 5 minutes long, and obviously I can't show the whole 5 minutes. So what I wanted to say about WeVideo for this part is the editing had to be top notch with WeVideo. They're taking weeks of clips. They had to edit them all together. They had to literally pull out every single mistake, add the music, add, everything, to Randy's point, they also then did a digital poster, a radio commercial, did a trailer, and all of that. So I'm going to show you, I'll just show you a little bit of intro into the movie, if that's okay, just to get
that's fine.
This is the one that actually won. So tell me when you're ready here.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So this is where they actually were being awarded. I'll get through that now.
So we have a very important man. His story is that of motivation and awareness. This man has lived something that I wish no one will ever experience again. I invited him tonight to help us understand and be aware of the dangers of the real world. And now welcome,
What I'm going to tell you is my story that took place 2 years ago. Today, I still don't know what for sure happened. I've been searching for answers my entire life, but I always found myself in the same place, nowhere. I've been involved in things no one should be involved in. I've been searching for professional help, but nothing seems to work. I'm here to share my story, my tragedy. My story starts off as a normal day. That was so easy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Hey, we feel my soccer after school today.
Yeah, I should go home and clean, but I think you can do it later.
Yeah, alright. Man, I really need to work on my left foot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it is. I really have to make this high.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. All right, well, I'm going to stop there for a minute. So the title of this is called Tragedy, and it's actually about child abduction. So, you'll have to watch the rest of the film. It's on YouTube, but that is the beginning of it.
I'll tell you what, Paula, I'm watching the video and I'm thinking about all of the tiny details that you need to include in that, and how the transitions and the music and the fading and the just all the different clips. I'm sure that they had to take all different video clips to put them all together into WeVideo. So
Yeah.
like you said, it's very time consuming, but I just think the students they are fully engaged when they have that type of control and creativity amongst them, and you can see it in the video that they were invested in their project. You can see it. They played the role.
Right. I mean, the nice thing I think about this is, nobody's worried about grades. It's you're focused on the quality of the project, and, not coming up to me going, what do you think? And it's like, it doesn't matter what I think. It's like, what do you think? Where is it where you want it to be, and so this all of them are very good. Randy and Bruce have had an opportunity. There's some that aren't as good, but it doesn't matter because it's all the learning process. So I talk about this in the book. I don't know how much you want me to show. Where am I on my time?
You have about another minute.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I don't want to ruin everybody's time here. Okay, I'll just show this real quick. So this is only a minute long. At the 7th grade level, they're just learning. So they have to do what I call the door scene, and everything has to be around a door. So, and they have to hear a sound. So I'm just going to play this one. This is a 7th grader. And they play around with cloning. Okay, that's it.
Awesome.
Okay.
That was great. It gave the audience like a mysterious, what's behind the door, like mysterious feeling, like a sci-fi feeling.
Yes, they can't tell you. You can never see where the sound came from. They could either try to get somewhere or get away from something. That's totally up to them. But those ended up being a really nice way to introduce film at the 7th grade level. So that's my favorite part about WeVideo is teaching editing, and that creative side is how far can kids push themselves, and really pull from the imagination.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we have a comment here from Joe Pizzo. I hope I said that right, Joe. And he says that the biggest behavior challenges are often the students who thrive when given production and or on-air responsibilities. They become invested in the learning, and that is totally accurate, right?
Yes.
And Joe, he's got, so much experience in education. I'm sure he's seen that firsthand as well. So thanks for that comment, Joe. I appreciate it. But that's so, I mean, he said it perfect. You can't restate that comment at all. So
right. So anyway, yes, that is that's what I would like to, give about WeVideo is just the amazing editing processes that are available to students of all ages and to myself as well. So,
all right. Well, before we move on, Bruce, are you okay with this? We have a question in the chat, and it might,
Sure.
it may be to Paula or it may be to all of you. So if you want to answer it after you present your information, Bruce, that's fine. Alma says, can you talk about how the students are provided with opportunities to self-assess and peer review? Do you want to answer that question now or after Bruce does his little demo?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer with what I did if you'd like to.
And also, Paula, share what our classes did from New Jersey to Indiana.
Okay. Yeah, our 2 classes before Zoom and everything was very popular. We did Google Hangouts when we were first meeting each other, and we would each produce our shows, and then his classes would watch ours and critique. He would send his, we would critique, and then we got both classes on TV at the same time with Google Hangouts, and they critiqued out loud each other, which was really powerful. And
did they use a rubric to critique, or like how did they do a peer review?
Gave each other some questions that we wanted them to assess. And so he gave his students, okay, this is what Lincoln would like to know based on this criteria, and vice versa. The first couple of times we did it, kids were they were really quiet, and then once we kind of broke the ice, then they really started engaging, and it was really powerful. As far as assessment for me, yes, I have a rubric for the film. However, they also critique each other. They do a lot of peer review because I don't want it to be about a grade. to me, that's not what this is about. I want it to be more about the process and the growth. And by the time they're done with the project, you know, they actually are like, wow, this is really good. You know, that's what I want. And that's what I always tell them, you know. So is it where you want it to be? It either is or it's not, you know.
Go ahead, Randy.
All right, Randy.
I've got for my projects, I've got rubrics where, especially through the past few years through Seesaw and Canvas, you can upload those rubrics to the kids, and a lot of times I'll partner them up. They have to sit down, and one kid's got to watch theirs. And a lot of the times I put the rubrics on Google Sheets, so they have to make a copy of it, and they'll have to put their peer reviewer will have to put a green fill the square in next to the success criteria, the standard, or whatever they're having to reach. They'll have to put check that square and turn it green. So they're learning spreadsheet skills at the same time. They're learning some of the tools that they can be used in Google Sheets as they're reviewing a peer's work, whether it's a poster or a video, a WeVideo they're making. So have they, you know, can they hear their voice? Is it loud enough? Are they talking at the right pace? There's lots of different things that they have to reach depending on the project. So yes, we do use rubrics, and we do have peers meet together, or they could send them virtually as well. Okay, well
that's good to know, because I'd like to, like, for myself, I would like to see what you're critiquing them on. So what kind of, like, maybe you can share that in the show notes or in the agenda so that people can get like an idea of like a peer review rubric or expectations of what they're supposed to expect from the video that they're watching. I think that might help the viewers that I'm seeing in the comment. That might help. But you know, it's just a suggestion for me. I would like to see it because it would help me, so I can help the other teachers in middle school. I could tweak it for middle school. But I think it would be a great resource to share if it's not already in the book.
I think for the film, it's in the book. It's the criteria that they're judged on actually through the film competition. So
okay.
That is,
and you'll see one of my rubrics, the cereal box rubric, is in the book as well.
Okay, cool. All right, so it's in the book. So we'll, you know, I'll look at that part of the book and say, because I think that is a big piece of the puzzle as an educator, because we need to get some type of right. We have to make the kids be held accountable, and then we have to get like feedback so that we have to assess them at some point or another. So that gives us, you know, a little bit of assistance in trying to do that. So,
and I'll tell you what, a lot of times when I'm creating a project or creating something for the kids, one of the best websites is RubyStar. RubyStar, RUBI star, is where I get my, that's where I start with my rubric creation, and I kind of pull it into my own spreadsheet and change my words to fit my project with it. But RubyStar, some of the oral project rubrics they have in there and the media projects rubrics they have in that website are outstanding, and it can give you ideas to develop your own rubrics. So that's where I start a lot of time, is RubyStar.
All right, cool. I'm going to put that link in the chat. All right, so Bruce, why don't you, it's rubystar.forteachers.org. Is that it, Randy?
Let me double check. Yep, that's it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to put that in the chat so people can see that. All right, so Bruce, why don't you are the last person to talk about remote learning and media in the classroom. So why don't you share a little bit of how you're using media in the classroom during these challenging times in education right now?
Sure. And, you know, one of the things I do with remote learning and like sharing of students' projects, very simple, just to make like a shared Google Doc in the class. And in the middle, when kids are working on their projects, when they think they're done, it's kind of the first draft. I'll have all the students watch their video and then put 2 things that they like and 1 thing to improve, and just write it on like a shared Google Doc, and the student gets, you know, immediate feedback, and then they can add it to their project, you know, with remote learning. So I have a couple examples that I've done actually the past since September. So these are all from remote learning. The first one is a 6th grade project for digital leadership that we actually talk about all the things that are good you can do online and with social media and the different topics. The kids research a topic in brainpop.com. They come up with 10 facts, 5 quiz questions, and out of it, they make a WeVideo, and then the quiz questions end up going into a Kahoot afterwards. So let me share this one with you. This is a 6th grade student that did one on hacking. So take a look at this, and this one, similar to Paula's, the music makes it. Check out the music in this one that the student created. I mean, that's a 6th grade project that a student did. All the information is from brainpop.com, which has fantastic information, especially on digital citizenship and digital leadership. And the other project that I wanted to share tonight, and this is from my friend Don Goebel from St. Louis, is a 6-word multimedia story. So this particular 6-word multimedia story, you come up with 6 words in a sentence, but every single camera shot has to be different. And here's a compilation of a couple of them that we played on our remote TV show last Friday.
To insert a video, what you're going to want to do is you want to go to the left. Ernest Hemingway once said these words: "Baby shoes on sale, barely worn." He believed that any story could be told in 6 words. Today, the CTV students and I are going to share 6-word stories that will tell a story in 6 words. 2. Lunch. Homework. Get. It. Done.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, those really, those projects have turned out fantastic. And like I said, I gotten the idea from Don Goebel, dongoebel.com. He has tons of resources on his site. And really, you think about any curriculum area, you could do a 6-word sentence story and challenge the kids. And the point about the projects I'm showing tonight is all of those were done remotely. Since September 8th, I haven't seen my students at all in my classroom. So remotely, they were able to do, all of those projects. And I concur with, my other 2 authors. WeVideo has been fantastic. One thing I want to try they just came out with is now you can collaborate in real time on a project. So now I'm starting to have the students include me on the project, and I can actually go in and edit with them remotely and show them exactly what I mean after I'm done with my lesson, especially if they're struggling. And they also added, I was asking for years, like cropping. So if kids videotape things, there was a lot of room over their head. now you can actually crop, in WeVideo. And I think that's all three of us gravitated to WeVideo because it's always changing, improving. And Nathan Lang Rad from WeVideo actually wrote a section in our book about WeVideo. So we would like to thank them very much. And it can do tons of different things, and it works, on any device. And I think that's all the ambassadors like and appreciate about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was hard for me to get my head around the WeVideo, but as I gradually learned it and exposed myself to it, now I embrace it, and I'm glad I did. And I thank you, Bruce, for introducing it to me, because you were the first person that really got me into WeVideo and introduced it to me, and really showed me the dashboard and everything. So thank you for that.
I'm so proud. And now you're an ambassador too. Look
now
at you.
I'm an ambassador, right? So it's all good. Now I can't stay away from it. But there was a question. Oh, well, to circle back. So I want to share a project that one of the science teachers did in middle school. So I have a wacky role in my school. I'm the tech teacher, but I do try to, keep the teachers abreast on trend and technology. So WeVideo was one tool that I introduced to them and trained them on. And one of the science teachers in 8th grade just ran with it. And he made his students, now this was before the update came out. So this was last year when we were still face-to-face. He made his students define a vocabulary word. And I don't know how many seconds the video was, maybe 20 to 30 seconds, but the student had to actually, put the vocabulary word on, display the vocabulary word, and illustrate what the meaning of it was. And how great is that? So you're getting a whole different perspective of the meaning of the word. So like one video was transparent. So the student put a glass of water and showed the glass of water. Isn't that simple? So I was amazed. So, that again was just another way of, using media in the classroom for vocabulary. So what I want to do is I wanted to circle back to Jason. So Jason had a question, and he says, let me show it. How does WeVideo answer the social emotional learning needs of students?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I mean, I could answer part of that. When we did our live TV show for like 12 years in our school, all the content was coming from WeVideo. It makes kids feel terrific when they can create things. And the best example I could use is the students had to be at the school at 7:30 in the morning to start setting everything up. And a student comes in one morning, like very, very tired, right at 7:30, but tired. I'm like, thanks for coming in to help for the show. And he's like, this is the earliest I've woken up in 2 years since.
Then that's a good thing.
So I think it feeds into like their SEL and makes them, feel great because they're creating something, and also they're a part of something in a team. In that particular case, go ahead, Randy.
Oops.
You're muted, Randy. You're muted, Randy. There you go.
Sorry. I found that throughout the years, using WeVideo, some of the most challenging students in our school, they'll have issues in every classroom, and they'll come to mine, and they'll just it motivates them. It motivates them because a lot of them find talent in it and find something they didn't know they had. And, I've had students who are difficult behavior problems. They'll find something on WeVideo, and I'll say, how'd you do that? And the fact that they're teaching me, I mean, it boosts their esteem. I think just the fact itself, if you teach the basics to a kid and you trust them to use the product how they want to use it, I think it helps with their social emotional needs. Do you think that
because we're dealing with digital natives and this generation of students, do you think because they're so connected with YouTube, do you think WeVideo just naturally attracts them to the tool?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? Because
TikTok,
Snapchat, all that stuff, right? Because they're already creators. They're just using it in a social way with their friends. But you know, some of these kids, they're pretty popular on YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. So
they've got channels. They're making their own shirts. I had
yeah,
a third grader show up, a guy out of his car and he had this shirt on. I said, "Isn't that your YouTube channel?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm promoting it." Okay. I mean, but
yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
It's the media world, and that's where these kids are going.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if we don't expose them to some type of media, whether it's in, you know, 2nd grade, 8th grade, 12th grade, we're really not preparing them for, you know, for college or the real world or, you know, anything, because, you know, that's their future. And probably by the time they're in 2nd grade and they get to middle school, it's going to be something totally different, you know? And then by the time they graduate high school, it just evolves so quickly. So we can't keep up with it. But I think the exposure is very important. And you know, I think they're already exposed. It's just that we need to reel them in and guide it more toward our curriculum and standards and things like that.
A perfect example would be the phone. You know, the school has fought the phone for years, and finally you just got to say it's their tool, and if you teach them to use it the right way. So I tell kids, bring your phone out in my class. I said, if it's out, you need to have your Google Drive app on it. If you have your phone out and you don't have the Google Drive app on it, then there's no reason to have it out in my class, because whatever they're filming on their phone, because it's a better quality. It's got a better quality camera than what the school can provide them at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree.
You know, the other point I was going to say, Kim, too, is that, you know what, one of the biggest questions we get with the book is teachers that get the book and they haven't created anything ever, and it's not really in their wheelhouse. And I think, you know, you have the biggest resource right in front of you is the kids and the students. Like, put it into their hand, give them a little structure of what you want them to create, but put it in their hands and let them go. And because they're not blank slates and they have all that prior knowledge, you have someone in your class, and for every teacher who is an expert doing the audio, the video, all these different skills that they just do day to day from, you know, that's their life and it's in their wheelhouse. And for a lot of people who don't know where to start, I think you start, you know, give them a little structure, but start with the kids in your class. And it could be as simple as just videotape or audio record an exit ticket, you know, instead of doing it on regular paper or the normal things that you would do. And the kids will amaze you what they create.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, like, you know, with education being the way it is now, we're hybrid, we're virtual, you know, I think it really forces the educators to use media, and also students, you know, so it kind of pushes that shift to using media, whether you are ready or not, you know. But I think it's important, you know, I really do. And I think the book really showcases that. And like I said, it just gives practical examples of what you can pick up the book and start using it right in the classroom, you know. So we do have, let's see here, Corey, I'm sorry I mispronounced your last name before. He writes in the comments, we are 20 years into the 21st century. What have we been waiting for? This is the type of engagement that kids need to be engaged and learn. So that's definitely something that, you know, we were just talking about, and we totally get it. So, you know, we need to shift education and shift what we're doing into an area where we're going to, you know, expose and challenge and at least, you know, get these kids into, you know, the 21st century skills. Because quite honestly, we're not there yet, you know, and that's just my opinion. I don't feel that we're there yet. Because like Randy said, some schools, you know, the best tools that they have are their phones, and they are better than some of the school devices. And if we teach the kids how to use it, then they will use it appropriately. And by limiting them or withdrawing those tools, we're not teaching them anything. So, you know, we just assume, but we shouldn't assume anything. Let's see. Does anyone else have anything they would like to add? Let's see. I'm reading the comments in the chat. The chat's active, just so you know. So thanks for everyone for participating in the chat. I appreciate it. And let's see here. So basically, they agree. People agree. Corey again says yes. Student empowerment creates student belongings, which leads to equity, which is true. And Alma agrees as well. So it's great to have this conversation because as educators, it's important for us to again, like, learn from each other, share with each other, and try something. And if you're not comfortable with it, like Bruce said, ask your students. It's not a big deal. You know, they're gonna probably know the answer much quicker than us.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. I think someone said in the chat before too, and I saw it this week. There's a really popular Facebook group out of Georgia with all these TV production teachers, and a lot of them are in remote learning. And for a commercial, and we were talking about this the other day, Randy, with like the cereal commercials, the high school teacher said, just go in your house and make a commercial for anything. Just take out cereal, take out whatever there is, you know, produce a 30-second commercial with music and get all different types of camera shots and animation. And, you know, because the kids are home, you know, there are things that you can leverage because they are remote, like, you know, using their own devices and use what they have. And I think that's a big part of the book of you don't have to go out and, you know, buy all this expensive equipment, you know, cameras and video and audio things. Just use what you have, whether it be the Chromebook or your phone or whatever device. And it's more your creativity, honestly, than, you know, how expensive the device is that you're using.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And one last question we have here from Jason. So I'm going to show his comment. Jason says, how long does it take students to become proficient in WeVideo?
A lot quicker than adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It is true. I would say it depends what age, but teaching, you know, starting at third grade, they're pretty proficient by the end of fourth grade. I mean, they're pretty proficient. It doesn't take long, and they see me maybe 40 times a year. So, but we don't do WeVideo every day. I think between third and fourth grade, if they use it on a consistent basis, whether it's an in-class, you know, using it for spelling, you know, having the kids put a spelling word in and finding a sound that goes along with that spelling word, or a picture that goes with that spelling word, or an action, and putting that into short videos. I mean, if they do that on a weekly basis, say you're going to do this word this week, make a 10-second video that represents this word. I mean, they'll get proficient at it in no time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of high schools, Kim, that, you know, they went with the professional programs of Adobe or Final Cut, which are terrific. However, they're not so terrific in remote learning when you can't get in the school to use the computer that software is on. So I would say proficient high school students, like, right away, and more of them, you know, are using it. And the other proficient thing of, you know, in video, you can go back to that draft so many times and improve it and make it better and better and better. So I don't know if you ever become 100% like proficient. You can always improve something, you know, that you created.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But
I got to speak to the quality of videos that WeVideo does process out. We had during the remote learning in we have 2 high schools in our district, and they went to their, I forget whoever runs their graduation, the gowns, who they rented from, and they were putting together these video packages for them to buy in. And they had this big meeting for the township, and they said, is this something we could do? I said, WeVideo could do it. And we put together virtual graduations for 2 high schools, each high school with 800 students. And they were about a little over an hour long. One was an hour and 20 minutes, but processing time, piece of cake, everything. I couldn't believe how easy the software worked for these videos. And they turned out to be pretty high quality videos in the end.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm glad you brought that point up too, Bruce, because, you know, it's all accessible online. It's not installed on a traditional computer like it was back in 1980 with Windows Movie Maker, you know, so that's important to know that as well. And to add to that, and Bruce knows this, my son got married And what did I do? I took all of the pictures and I added music and transitions and text, and I made a video out of it using WeVideo, and I gave it to them. And, you know, you can do anything with it. It's just a tool that you need to have in your tech tool belt, really. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go.
Oh, I just wanted to add the other tool within WeVideo that I think is maybe underused is the podcast part of it.
Yeah.
You know, especially right now with, you know, a lot of schools in a blended environment. You know, if you don't have a radio station yet, Backbone Radio is what we, one of our other sponsors, but, you know, teaching voice and speech is another great avenue to use WeVideo, and having students produce podcasts and adding the music and learning to edit just strictly audio is a whole nother level, you know, of something that we need to be teaching as well. So, and
that's a great option for kids, because some kids are camera shy, and if they would feel more comfortable doing a podcast, I would say go for it. Definitely. You know, so it's nice that they have that option. Definitely. Yeah. I'm glad that you brought that up, because you are right. It is a feature available, but it's not as, we don't talk about that because we think of video when we talk about, you know, WeVideo. But yeah, you're definitely right. It does have a podcast option in there, and it's always available there for students to create podcasts as well.
You know, the other two features too, which I'm trying to find more uses for, and they just came out with last year, animated GIFs or GIFs, however you like to say it. You can make those in WeVideo. And it does have a screencasting tool that you can, you know, do screen recording, put yourself in it or not, or just use the camera to record yourself. It might not be the highest quality recording if you're doing it on a Chromebook or different devices, but for ease of use, you could just record yourself, and it puts the video from the screencasting tool right into WeVideo. So for, you know, ease of use, it's a good tool to use. And although some of those individual tools might not be as vibrant as using like Audacity or Soundtrap for audio, it's nice that it's all in one place and the kids know how to use that interface. And, you know, it could do almost anything for creating media. And, you know, the kids in my school, they're used to the interface of it. It's one less extra tool to teach them. I know Screencastify, and there's a bunch of great screen capture tools, but they already know how to use WeVideo, and it's just a matter of showing them where the screen capture tool is within WeVideo.
Yeah, I agree. I think like you said, and Paula said, those features of WeVideo they're there, but they're not. When you think of WeVideo, you think about media creation. You don't think about using it for podcast or using it for screen capturing or you know, the webcam tool to record yourself. But that's also a great option for the users, because they can pull that right into their tracks and their layers into their video. So yeah, it's definitely something that you should check out, because it's a great feature of WeVideo, and it's just a great tool. So you know, check out their book, Scripted. All right. And really, you know, it's a great book. It's a nice feel. It was written by educators for educators. So it's all about paying it forward, connecting, sharing, and learning from each other. And that's what we do here on the Sweet Talk. So I really appreciate you guys being on and having me host your scripted ambassador party, WeVideo ambassador party. This was so much fun.
It was. And our website, scriptededucators.com. So we have extended information on our website.
So what I want you guys to do is give me like show notes so that I can put it on the Sweet Talk website. And then that can be, you know, your contact information, your emails, your Twitter, your website, anything that you want to share with the audience. And then at least I can put it on my website, and then it's accessible that way as well.
No, we definitely will. And we'd like to thank WeVideo for inviting all the ambassadors tonight. And there will be a replay of this. We know people are definitely busy this time of year. And we're actually hosting their Twitter chat called What's Your Story? And it's on Monday night from 7 to 7:45 Eastern. And we're going to have a bunch of media questions in there in the Twitter chat. So we hope people that are watching can join us, and people that watch the video of it can also join us Monday night. And we thank WeVideo for giving us the time to run their Twitter chat on Monday night.
Yes.
All right. Are we wrapping it up? Are we good?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add, Randy? You good?
Oh, I think we're good.
I don't want to cut you off, you know?
I'm so talkative.
All right. Well, that's a wrap then, guys. So we're going to close out the show. This episode can be accessible on my website. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see here. All right. And I'm assuming you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right. So you can go to the suitetalk.com. That's the SUITE talk.com. And you can check out the latest episode here on the homepage. If you would also like to be a guest on my show, you can fill out the guest form here when it loads. There's a button here. Okay, and you can fill this out and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Right now, I'm scheduling guests for February 2021. Also, if you'd like to support my mission to help pay it forward, you can become a sponsor. You can fill out this form and become a sponsor as well. And if there are any Google Classroom users out there and you need some guidance and assistance to using Google Classroom, Alice Keeler and I wrote a new book called Stepping Up to Google Classroom. It's 50 Steps for Beginners, and that's available on Amazon as well. So with that said, I am going back to StreamYard.
Sure.
Wait, I can't find the button. Wait a minute. There we go. My dashboard is too busy, Bruce.
We have to get you some bigger monitors there.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. So until next time, everyone, have a great evening. Stay well.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Kim.
Evening. Thank you.
Bye.